Hello everyone, I am Vaibhav. This is your host for the correlation and regression analysis. In today's session of correlation, we will be trying to establish the relationship between same class of instruments. For example, if we are looking into the forex space, then we will be comparing the currency crosses like Euro USD, AUD USD, NZD USD, GBP USD, etc. All USD crosses to define the momentum, the side of the momentum on which side it is, whether it is bullish or bearish. And then once we are done with that, the directional movement, we will be then comparing the movements of these each of the instrument to figure out which one is having the strongest momentum and which one is on the weaker side, so that we can optimize our trading opportunities by going for the strongest of the bullish momentum or bearish momentum trade. And with that we will have higher probability of being on the profitable side in our trading. So let us now head to the JForex 4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the GBP USD chart drawn on the 5-minute time frame, but for reference, first I will refer to Euro USD, and let's see what is happening on the Euro USD. So far in the day, the price action has been pretty much sideways. It has continued to trade in this narrow range. The range for Euro USD in today's session in particular has been fairly narrow, with the high point and the low point being low point is 1.034 and high point is 1.0395. That's 53 pips, but in recent past the ATR has been quite high, more than 100 pips. So today you can say that the momentum is rather subdued, or there is no momentum as of now. It is simply moving back and forth between these defined range, and for any breakout on either side, first we will have to determine on which side it is likely to break out, and then whether it is the best bet for that instrument or best bet for that directional movement or not. So let us now change it to 5 minutes again. All right. The chart is of 5-minute time frame, but the range that has been drawn is of 4 hours and 2 hours each. Along with that, I have also added the moving average prices of last 1 hour and 2 hours. So we get a good idea of how things are shaping up for the instrument of our choice. So this is the Euro USD chart with this 4 hourly range at just little over 40 pips. We have the possibility of Euro USD breaking out later in the day as the North American session gets underway. We might see increased volatility, and in that case, we do have to prepare for some big moves if eventually it comes to that. So, for the time being, the momentum has been sideways. But if we look at this space, first it made the low, and after that, it went on to make this high for the 1.0395, and afterwards it didn't really correct close to this prior swing low. So from this price action data we can draw a inference that for last couple of hours at least the momentum has been bullish to sideways, not bearish. And if we have to even now keep looking for opportunities to go long, I think as long as this immediate swing low doesn't really break, we have the possibility of seeing Euro USD flying higher, breaking out higher. So for that, if we have to go for any trade, we will have to figure out the opportunities and the optimum prices. So here, anything closer to this immediate low, the price of 0.35 would be an welcome opportunity. But at the same time, we do have to compare these currency crosses. If we are expecting the weakness in the US dollar, if it is expected to stay on the bearish side, then we have to look for the best opportunity to go bullish in other currencies. So for that, let us start comparing the price momentum data of the Euro USD with the other currency crosses like AUD USD. Let's see what's happening in the AUD. AUD is also on the bullish side. It First, it went on to rise almost 50 pips. Then, after that, it went into consolidation phase, and after making low at around 0.6695, it has again climbed back higher, and it has made this fresh 4 hourly low. So this is interesting. For Euro USD, we haven't really seen a fresh 4 hourly high formation, but for AUD USD, the fresh 4 hourly high formation is of quite recent vintage. So in terms of this bullish momentum, I think Euro USD is lagging compared to the AUD USD. If we look at the price action data of the AUD, it made this 4 hourly high at 11:30 GMT. And let us see for Euro USD when it unfolded. Euro USD made the high at around same point, but after that it hasn't been able to successfully climb back towards this prior swing high. So for comparative and correlation purpose, we can easily draw the inference that AUD USD is having the stronger bullish momentum compared to the Euro USD. But first, we have to compare all these currency crosses so that we get a better idea of which currency to trade. The GBP USD is also in the bullish phase. The GBP has continued to gain ground against the dollar for last couple of sessions. Today it is also on the bullish side. So here we have this formation, and GBP had gone on to make this 4 hourly high quite early compared to the AUD USD and the Euro USD. But after that, it has simply consolidated, it corrected, and it went on to correct quite close to this prior swing low. But it didn't really break on the lower side, and now it is trying to climb back again. So it will be interesting to see how things unfold moving forward. The GBP USD is on the stronger footing compared to the Euro USD. It made this 4 hourly low ahead of the Euro USD, and after that, it has continued to hold the ground. So we can expect this GBP USD to lead the euro, but it is likely to lag the AUD. AUD is showing bullish momentum, and it is looking like the strongest bet of all these three. Now let us move to the NZD USD. For NZD, the chart has been fabulous. It has continued to make higher highs and higher lows, and it even didn't really correct towards the 4 hourly low. So, from this price data, we can infer that the NZD USD is ahead of all the other four currencies which we have seen so far for the weakness in the dollar. And if we have to continue to look for trading opportunities with this formation of higher highs and higher lows, I think any correction toward this average price of last 2 hours and consolidation is going to provide us a good opportunity to trade with. So this is looking like a good trade compared to other currencies. It is on the stronger footing as well. Now we consider other currency crosses like USD CAD, USD CHF, and USD GPY, where the USD is the first currency. So we have to invert the scale. And here we should have expected to see the USD CAD in decline. If the dollar is on the back foot, the CAD should have gained. But it seems like that the CAD is also on the bearish side. So we are seeing the USD actually gaining ground against the CAD. And in that scenario, it is not really in company of other currency crosses like AUD USD, NZD USD, GBP USD, and Euro USD, where the momentum is against the dollar. But for USD CAD, the momentum is with the dollar. So we are seeing the US dollar strengthening against the CAD. So for any reversal momentum, if we are not convinced of the dollar strength, then in that scenario we have the trade in USD CAD. Or else what you can do is you can go for the trade in which you take the strongest of the currency like NZD and then pair it with CAD, as we have weakness in the CAD and the strength in the NZD. You are likely to make much swifter gains in the currency cross like NZD CAD compared to what we are seeing the sluggish momentum of the USD CAD. So here moving forward also, as long as it doesn't really break below this immediate swing low, the momentum is on the bullish side for the dollar. So we are expecting it to continue to make these higher highs and higher lows. But of course, for that we need to make sure that it doesn't really break much below these average price of last 2 hours. And after due consolidation, if it starts to rise again, then we can bet against the CAD. And as I said, it will make much more sense to go for the currency cross like NZD CAD. Now let us see the developments for USD CHF. The USD CHF is also looking in the same category as USD CAD. We are seeing the USD gaining strength against the CHF, and it has gone on to make these days high at 0.9538 after making days low at 0.9499. So that's a range of around 40 pips for the USD CAD, USD CHF. So for USD CHF also, the range for the day is pretty narrow, and it will be interesting to see how things shape up moving forward. But as of now, things are against the CHF. It is looking on the weaker side, but it is now correcting closer to this prior swing low. And if it breaks below this immediate swing low, in that case, we might expect further consolidation and possible move on the lower side. But if it is able to uphold these levels, then in that scenario we can also start looking for opportunities to go with the immediate trend of the bullish side. But as I said, if we are expecting the other currencies to remain strong against the dollar, the USD CHF shouldn't be a preferable bet. But if we are expecting the turnaround and dollar to gain in the momentum with time as the North American session begins, then USD CAD seems a better idea compared to the USD CHF. If we see, the 4 hourly high was made at 13:45 GMT for USD CHF, and for USD CAD, let us consider USD CAD. It happened bit later. So in that sense, the USD CAD seems to be lagging, but if we compare its low formation, the last 4 hourly low came in at 5.555 GMT, whereas for USD CHF, it is of recent vintage. So we will have to give the preference to the USD CAD compared to the USD CHF. Now for USD JPY, the momentum is on the bearish side. We are seeing this formation of low at 139.70. After that, it gained almost 30 to 40 pips, and it is now again reversing all those gains. Earlier in the day also, it had made the low above 140, but it wasn't really able to sustain those gains, and we saw this sharp decline on the lower side. So here the better idea or a good trading idea to keep trading stance in the USD JPY would be to go long on the JPY and short on the dollar. So you can start looking for opportunities to go short in the USD JPY, but it is not having the strongest of bullish momentum. So we have the JPY, which is strong, but it is not really looking strong enough to be convincing. So my option would be to continue to prefer NZD USD compared to the USD JPY. And for turnaround also, the USD CAD will make a better case. So USD JPY is somewhere in middle of the pack. So we can't really give it preference for either side of the trade. If you want to go against the dollar, then NZD USD is a better option. And if you want to go with the dollar, then in that case, USD CAD seems to be the better idea. So for both these scenarios, we have plotted out the strongest and the weakest of these currency crosses. Now let us consider the equity space and what's happening there. In equity space, after consolidation and losses prior to that, we are observing the US 30 Dow Jones Industrial Average gaining almost 1 percentage point if we compare its day's low, which was there around 33,423. it has now climbed to 33,785. So that's a substantial gain for Dow Jones Industrial Average futures, and we are expecting to see a gap up open as the North American trading session begins. The US stock exchanges begin to trade. Here, the momentum is on the bullish side with the formation of higher highs and higher lows. So, unless and until there is any significant deviation and price drops below these average price of at least 2 hours, we have to keep trading with the trend and keep looking for opportunities to go long only. So we don't really end up bothering about figuring out the possible trend reversal for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Instead, we stick with it and we work with it the way it is going up. I think we can keep looking for opportunities to get the optimum trade in this cluster of these two moving averages. For though the 4 hourly high was made at 10:45 GMT, so let us compare what happened in which of the index. For S&P 500, the high happened at 10:55 GMT, so S&P 500 seems to be lagging the Dow Jones Industrial Average when it is coming to its upward momentum. For Nasdaq, the high happened at 11 GMT. So this is the lagging of all these three equity indices. Most other equity indices, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, made its highs quite early, and since then it has been the journey upward. But here we get the sense that Dow is likely to lead in terms of the gains and the magnitude of gains, and also the stability of the trend is likely to be much better for the Dow Jones Industrial Average compared to S&P 500 or even Nasdaq. So my first choice of any trade would be to go for long trade in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But before we finalize it, we also have to see the chart for other equity indices. So we first consider DAX, the Germany's equity index. Here it is, German 40. And DAX also is on the bullish side. It made this 4 hourly high quite early compared to the futures of US equity, and since then it has been trading with this bullish bias with gains coming in of around more than 1 percentage point from this day's low. So the momentum for DX is also bullish. All you have to do is keep looking for opportune time, and as long as this immediate swing low remains intact, we can be fairly confident of continuation of the bullish momentum. But here this 4 hourly high was made almost 2 hours back, not 2 hours back, sorry. It was made at 14:10 GMT, and if we compare the chart for Dow Jones Industrial Average, the high was made after that. So here the Dow is leading in terms of its price moves. The moves are bigger and at the same time swifter compared to other equity instruments. The FTSE 100 The FTSE 100 made this 4 hourly high quite early at 12:50 GMT. Since then, it has simply gone sideways, and even now, it is slowly approaching this immediate support level. Though I am not really expecting any big sharp decline in the FTSE 100 in today's session, but still we have to watch. We have to remain watchful, and only after consolidation and as and when it starts rise again, we should be then looking for the opportunities to go long. Now we will consider the France CAC 40. The CAC 40 of the France is also following the similar trajectory, with this high being made at 12:45 GMT. Prior to that, this low was made, and since then it has not really looked back and continued to rise with substantial gains. It has now stabilized on the higher side, closer to these 6,650 level, and it will be interesting to see if it can break on the higher side in today's session. As of now, things are looking on the bullish side for the equity instruments, most of the equity indices, including the CAC 40 and the DAX. And for US equity indices also, the momentum is strongly on the bullish side. So all you have to do is figure out which instrument is likely to hold the ground. And in that case, we are seeing that the Dow is the strongest bid as of now. So that should be the preference first choice for any trade to be taken on the equity indices side. This is the Nasdaq chart. Prior to that, first let us consider the EU stock 50. EU stock 50 is also following the similar trajectory, so there is not much of a difference compared to its major peers like DAX and other European equity indices. So here the Eurostock 50 index is also going to give you some opportunities to buy, but since it has lagged for last couple of hours, I think the first preference should be the one which is making the higher highs even now, and in that case the Dow Jones Industrial Average seems to be the clear winner. So my first choice of instrument to trade with in today's session of United States would be to go and keep looking for opportunities to buy the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So that's my take looking at the price data of today's session. If you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. For trying out this newly released trading platform, the link has been included in the bio. So give it a try and let me know how it works out for you. So that's all from my side for today's session. See you next time around on Monday with new information gleaned from the price action data for the same class of instruments, financial instruments. See you on Monday. Goodbye.